What's up guys, Brian Kelly here from Zombie Guitar. So here in today's video I just want to talk about how to play fills. So this is a question that I got in my email today, which I'm going to read to you, and then I'm going to give you my answer. It's going to be a very similar answer to what I kind of give a lot. Like I always give this similar answer. And it's always learn the fundamentals. Okay, that's the answer. All right. Let me read the question, then I'll explain to you why that is. All right. So the question is, I picked up something from your latest video. You said that you could pick up where I was at based on the question that I asked. I have to preface my question with probably stuff that doesn't matter. I will turn 70 this year. Yeah, it matters, because if you're getting older, I understand, you don't necessarily know how much time you have left. And time is definitely your best friend, so you want to kind of do things in the shortest amount of time as possible. So yeah, that does matter. Anyway, so my window of learning is getting shorter. I play songs and want to do more fills in the songs. Which videos should I be focusing on in your site? So this guy is a member of the Zombie Guitar website, and he's asking which videos should I be focusing on. Now, people ask me all the time, maybe not this exact question. I do get questions on how to play fills, but they'll say things like, hey, how do I solo? I want to learn how to solo. Or, I've been playing songs forever and I want to start playing leads and stuff like that. I want to be the lead guitar player of a band. Where on your site do I go? To the first course that you come to on the site is the newbie course, but if you're not a newbie, you can just skip that one. But then the next course in line, the next 5 courses are called the 5 fundamental soloing courses. And I literally just tell everyone to do the 5 fundamental soloing courses. So yeah, you got to do the 5 fundamental soloing courses. That's my recommendation. It doesn't matter if you are trying to, play like Yingwei or whatever. I don't know. He's old school now. Who's the fast guitar players of today? Or it doesn't matter if you're trying to play like that 13-year-old kid that you saw on Instagram who's shredding up and down the fretboard, who's probably better than most of us will ever be in our entire life. It doesn't matter if you're trying to play like that guy or if you're trying to play like David Gilmour, just kind of like slow but very melodic. Every single note has impact. Both of them need to understand the fundamentals. And even if you don't want to solo, like there's a lot of people that don't care about soloing. Like maybe this guy doesn't necessarily care about soloing, but he just wants to be able to play fills. You want to be able to like strum some chords, sing some music and stuff, and then just kind of throw fills in between your chord changes. Again, it's all the same stuff. It's the fundamentals. All right, so I said, hey, this is really just a matter of understanding the fundamentals, which can be learned by going through the 5 fundamental soloing courses. You need to know what key you are playing in. That's like the main, maybe not the main thing, but that's like one of the primary things that you're going to be learning with these 5 fundamental soloing courses on the Zombie Guitar website. And if you're not a member of the Zombie Guitar website, I have lots and lots of YouTube videos where basically I say the same thing every time. Know what key that you're in. By knowing what key you're in, you can then locate reference positions. The reference positions that I like to use are pentatonic position number 1 and number 4. So if I know what key I'm in, let's say I know that I'm in the key of A minor, which is the same key as C major. It has the same pattern, same notes and everything like that. I know that my pentatonic position number 1 box pattern is right here. My pentatonic position 4 box pattern is right here. My pentatonic position 1 box pattern is up here. My pentatonic position 4 box pattern is down here. So when I know my pentatonic position number 1 and 4, I can then fill in the rest of the fretboard with the other positions. I can play my diatonic scale because I know that the pentatonic scale is just 5 of the 7 total notes of the diatonic scale. Full key scale, full diatonic scale, pentatonic scale, full diatonic scale, pentatonic scale. This is all stuff that is taught in those 5 fundamental soloing courses. So yeah, knowing what key I'm in allows me to find my reference positions. So by doing that, you will then have a roadmap of the in-key notes, which will be the notes that you will be using to play fills. Taking things a step further, you would select your notes specifically based on the underlying chords in the chord progression that you are soloing over, aka chord tone targeting, which is the 5th of the 5 fundamental soloing courses. These 5 fundamental soloing courses are specifically designed to teach you guitar theory. That's not general music theory. Learning scale patterns and how these boxes connect to one another. That's what I consider guitar theory. You're not going to be overwhelmed with super in-depth general music theory. There is a spot on the Zombie Guitar website for that as well. It's called the in-depth lesson portal. But these 5 fundamental soloing courses are just like, hey, let's identify the key. Let's identify our reference positions. Pentatonic position number 1, pentatonic position number 4. Let's fill out the fretboard using these box patterns that all connect together, and then practice noodling around in these box patterns. So if someone were to actually go through these 5 fundamental soloing courses like I'm constantly suggesting, 6 months to a year it might take, you know. That's not a lot of time. Like, this guy's 70 years old, so if he spends like a year going through this stuff, by the age of 71, then he'll have the fundamentals down, you know. So it's not like a ton of time, but it's a little bit more involved than just like, oh, you want to learn how to play fills? Oh, let me just give you some tabs for some fills. Okay, that's not going to work. Because if I give you some tabs for some fills, what if those fills don't work with the chord progression you're playing? What if you're playing in a different key than the tabs that I gave you or something like that, you know? So learn this fundamental stuff, you know? Learn how to identify the key that you're in, learn how to map out the fretboard based on the key, and then taking it to the next level, learn this chord tone targeting stuff. All right, so I have a simple chord progression. Let's just say I'm playing C major, F major, G major. Very simple, very basic. So if I have a C major chord, an F major chord, and a G major chord all together in the same chord progression, that's a very good indication that I'm in the key of C major. You can look at your circle of fifths to find the grouping of 6, which contains all 3 of these chords together in one single grouping of 6, and that will also confirm to you that, yes, this is the key of C major. All of these chords are contained within this key. All right, cool. I know what key I'm in. And then another thing you want to know is the relative major-minor concept. You want to know that the key of C major and the key of A minor are one and the same thing. They share the same notes. They share the same patterns. As far as I'm concerned, it's the same key. This is all fundamental stuff. This is all stuff that is taught in those 5 fundamental soloing courses. And the reason that that's important is because, like a lot of guitar players, we tend to think in terms of the relative minor all the time. We're constantly thinking like A minor pentatonic scale or minor pentatonic this or whatever. So like we're playing in the key of C major, but we could still use A minor pentatonic stuff because it's the same key, it's the same notes, it's the same patterns, it's a relative major minor pair. So if I wanted to add in a fill, I could just be like, oh, I know my A minor pentatonic scale, you know? That's my A minor pentatonic scale. So if I want to add in some fills, I'm just making this stuff on the fly. They're not amazing fills or whatever. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm just using the A minor pentatonic scale, which is the same as the C major pentatonic scale. A minor pentatonic, C major pentatonic. So if I want to throw in fills for chord progression that's in the key of C major, I can start by using pentatonic licks. A minor pentatonic, C major pentatonic, that's the pentatonic I'm going to use. I can literally play anywhere on the fretboard because if I identify the key, I can then identify my reference position. So here's pentatonic 1 here. Here's pentatonic position 4 up here. Here's pentatonic position 1 up here. Here's pentatonic position 4 down here. All right, so these are my reference positions. So that's like a lot of the fretboards. So I could just do stuff like... All right, something like that. If I really wanted to iron out these fills and kind of like really hone this stuff in so that it doesn't sound like crap anymore, I would get the timing down. You know, I would get the exact notes I was playing. I'd be like, okay, this doesn't sound great, but maybe this does. So I'll kind of practice that. You know, kind of like work that fill in so that the timing fits and everything. But knowing what key I was in and then knowing how to locate these reference positions based on that information allows me to be able to just add fills in all these different areas of the fretboard. And then, of course, you could play the full diatonic scale too, because the pentatonic scale is just 5 of the 7 total notes. So I know what key I'm in. It's the C major scale. That's the full 7-note scale. It's also the A natural minor scale. That's the full 7-note scale. Just looking at that here in pentatonic position number 1, A natural minor scale. Or the C major scale. You know, so you can go ahead and add in those notes if you want more melodic sounding fills. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the fill. I don't know. Maybe I just want to practice that so it doesn't sound like crap anymore. You know, getting that timing down to get back to the C chord on time. Just an example here. This is an example of a more melodic fill that I'm playing because I'm now using the full 7-note diatonic scale as opposed to just the 5-note pentatonic scale, but it's all part of the same key. So what if I want my fills to sound more bluesy, you know? Pentatonic was okay, but not exactly what I was looking for. 7-note diatonic scale, that was a little bit too melodic. I want a little bit more gritty, bluesy sound. I'm trying to try the blues scale, you know? Fundamental soloing course number 3 is blues basics. It talks about adding the blue note to each of the pentatonic positions. So instead of this being my pentatonic scale, you know, I just add the blue note in there. Just gets bluesier when you add that note in there, you know? So maybe you know, just again, crappy examples because I'm just making this stuff on the fly right now. But if I want to dial it in and kind of just really get these bluesy fills sounding good, then I would kind of figure out exactly which notes I was playing and I would practice the crap out of it. But I know what I'm doing because I know where I'm at. I know the key. I know the scales I'm using. I know the notes and stuff like that. So I know what to work with to create these fills. Know what key you're in. Know how to find the scale patterns. Guitar theory is just about like locating these patterns on the fretboard based on what key you're in. Know the key. Map out the fretboard. Done. So, yeah, that's my answer to that question on how to play fills. Thank you for watching. See you next time.